All right.
7 p.m. we are going to call the January 6th Select Board meeting to order. This meeting is being broadcast via RCTV on Xfinity Channel 9 and FiOS Channel 31. It's also Zoom and live on RCTV's YouTube channel. Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Carlo, you're going to mute. You're on your speaker. What? You have to mute. Okay. Thank you.
This evening we have 3 members here in person and 2 online. Just as a note for everyone here, the Reading Police Department will be present at our meetings for the foreseeable future, and we appreciate RPD's support in that. Also, just another note, before we begin tonight's meeting, I want to remind everyone that under Mass Open Meeting Law, any person who wishes to make a recording, audio, or video of town meetings must notify the chair in advance of any meeting, and this just allows the chair to inform those in attendance. Let's review the agenda for tonight. 7:05 we'll have public comment. For items, we'll allow residents to speak on each agenda item only once. 7:15 we'll discuss the incident following the select board meeting on Thursday, December 18th, 2025. 7:25 we'll have town manager report. 7:30 community spotlight. 7:35 vote to remove associate member Tony Lionetta from the Council of Aging as voted by the Council on Aging at their meeting on December 8th, 2025. 7:45, actually we're skipping the Parkland one. So 7:45 will be the public hearing to discuss and vote on annual all alcohol package store liquor license for PLM Beverages LLC, DBA Dion's Fine Wines and Spirits located at 36 Walkerbrook Drive. 8:05 vote on submittal of senior citizens property tax exemption whole rule petition, Article 2 of the special town meeting November 10th, 2025 to the legislation. 8:15 discuss and possible vote on charge for Commission on Disabilities. 8:30 liaison reports. 8:35 future agenda items. 8:40 approve prior meeting minutes from our December 9th and December 18th, 2025 meetings. And 8:45 will be entering executive session for purpose 7, approve and review for release the minutes of December 2nd, 2025 executive session meeting, compliance with GLC 30A section 22. Okay, public comment. Anyone here in the room? Do we have anyone online for public comment?
I don't see any hands raised online.
Okay. Now we're going to go to discuss the incident following the select board meeting on Thursday, December 18th, 2025. If it's okay with my fellow select board members, I'd like to read a statement prior to asking board members for any input.
That's fine.
Okay. I'd like to address an incident that occurred after the select board meeting on Thursday, December 18th. The select board has continued to allow hybrid meetings after the pandemic because they increase public participation and strengthen local governance. However, there is a technical limitation to the board's current setup. Namely, select board members and in-person attendees cannot see who is participating online or whether someone has raised their hand to speak. During the December 18th meeting, a resident who had raised their hand was not recognized for public comment due to this limitation. By the time the issue was brought to the chair's attention, the board had already moved on to the next agenda item. This was an unintentional oversight by a chair who has worked diligently during his term to improve opportunities for public comment and has allowed more public comment during select board meetings than ever before. We all value resident participation and welcome diverse perspectives, and I'm confident the board can implement practices to prevent this from happening again. After the meeting ended around 10 p.m., that same resident came to town hall and verbally accosted town staff and volunteers, berating them over this inadvertent mistake. Such behavior does not promote open dialogue or good governance. It also creates an uncomfortable work environment for town staff who serve as an essential role in our community. In my opinion, this behavior is completely inappropriate and unacceptable. While I understand the public has a right to disagree with the board and town staff, hostility, intimidation, and verbal abuse of staff or volunteers are never justified and are not the proper ways to seek change. As a member of the select board, I will not tolerate town staff or volunteers being treated this way. Our board has adopted proclamations and resolutions affirming our commitment to human rights and opposing violence. We must be equally clear and united in condemning any conduct that undermines these values by targeting those who serve our community. Public engagement is vital to our local government. I hope all residents can conduct themselves in a civil, orderly manner with dignity and respect, especially towards our staff and volunteers who serve us all. And now I'm happy to open it up to any other members that might have any comments. Carla or Karen, would you like to go first, or do you have any input?
Karen's hand is up.
Okay, sorry, Karen, go ahead.
So there's nothing in the packet letting us know what this was about, and I'm concerned with agenda items being on our agenda that have nothing to do with our responsibility as select board members. So I hope that we're not going to repeat this going forward. But I think some of the comments that Melissa made in her statement were ones that we all could take to heart, and that includes select board members. Because it's not easy serving in this role, and frequently community members can get quite heated, and it is up to us as select board members to set a good example. And so I think that was well spoken, Melissa, and I want to make sure that we take your comments and we apply them to select board members, because things got a bit heated after our meeting, not as in our role as select board members. The meeting had concluded. But the reality is that we all have to show that we are leaders in this community by treating others as we would like to be treated. And I would like to say that from the moment this public comment policy was put in place without discussion and without the approval of the full board, my major concern was something like this would happen. Having been a chair, I know how difficult it is in the moment to be able to let all community members have their say, especially when tensions run high. And that's why for at least a decade, this Reading Select Board has allowed public comment with a strict time limit at the beginning of the meeting only. And so I would really like at some point to return to that. And the reason why is because it is a clear boundary for people to participate in our meetings, to provide us with the feedback, which is valuable, and it is sufficient and in a good way to avoid incidents like this from happening in the future. It eliminates the technological glitches, and frankly, it's going to make our meeting shorter. So that would be my input on this discussion item. Thank you.
Thank you. Carlo, did you have anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, thank you. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry I couldn't be there. I'm in Florida. I'm in the middle of clearing out my house. We sold it, so I apologize for not being there in person. I do have some comments, but I want to read a letter first that was addressed to me, and I appreciate it if I'm not interrupted. Anything I say in this letter is written down. I am not changing any words in this letter. I received it, there's no date on the letter, but I received it at the end of November, certified mail. And the subject is demand for written apology and verbal public apology and retraction. Dear Mr. Bacci, this is a demand for written and verbal apology and retraction for defamatory comments made about me on September 16th, 2025 and October 21st, 2025 during select board meetings. Specific comments include on 9/16, I don't know what BS Ms. Binder was spewing. I'm sick of this bullshit I'm getting accused of. I'm sick of this bullshit from Angela Binder, who keeps on attacking me. I'm sick of it. She's a horrible person. And those were in quotes, sorry. On 10/21,
1 second, Carl. Yes.
Angela Binda lying about me twice. We have to go back to her public comments that are twice that she lied. We need to give context.
Carlo,
During public comment, what?
Carlo, do we want to stay on topic for what we're talking about, the incident on the 18th, or is this related to that incident?
This is, it's related to this whole subject, yes.
Okay, continue.
All right, 10/21. During public comment, I said nothing. She was trying to put me in my place and not being up to date, so I lost my cool. Yes, I've taken a lot from this particular resident. It's not good for the entire board. Intimidating and defamatory comments made by you, personally attacking me and criticizing the content of my speech, which I made during designated select board meeting, public comment, diminish my right and ability to publicly criticize governmental action and officials, protecting under Mass Declaration of Rights, Articles 19 and 16. Furthermore, said comments harm my reputation. I am seeking a clear and unqualified apology and retraction for the defamatory comments made about me, referenced above. I am seeking a written apology and retraction within 10 business days of receipt of this letter, and a verbal apology and retraction to be made at a select board meeting before the end of 2025 calendar year. I'm seeking written assurance that you will not seek to hinder any resident's exercise of their civil right to criticize a public official. This is an opportunity to resolve this matter before any legal action is taken. I hope you will avail yourself to it. Sincerely, Angela Binda. So the reason I read this letter that was sent to me, certified mail, is I'm very disappointed that this resident is not here apologizing to the town, to staff, and to the board. And to just give a little context, Angela had all the intention that our meeting wasn't over. She was very disappointed that the meeting was over, because that's the first thing she said when she barged into the room, is the meeting over. And I actually thought she was coming for me, to be honest. I said, let's get out of here. Melissa said this is inappropriate. So I am waiting for an apology for that incident to town staff, to the board, in the town. As for me, yes, you can say whatever you want about us per Mass General Law, but lying about us, any of us, not just me, should not be condoned. I don't appreciate rumors being spread about me, lies, blatant lies over and over again by other residents as well. I know that's part of the job, but that shouldn't be made in public. So thank you, and that's all I have for now. I'm just very disappointed that it happened, and I'm very disappointed that this resident is not here in person apologizing to us. Thank you.
Thank you. Karen or Chris?
Yeah. I agree with some of the things you said, Melissa. I think I would have liked to have written something down as opposed to putting some notes on stickies. I agree with a lot what Karen said. I think my point of view of this is we all have no idea what's going on in someone's lives behind the scenes, and that we don't know why she burst in here the way she did, what happened that day, what happened the day before. And I think as select board members, they elected us, so we basically work for them, and we need to be able to show better leadership when someone is losing their mind. And I think that there's many reasons why it happens, and it's not for us to judge, but adding fuel to the fire doesn't help either. And so I thought that we might have learned some things over the last few months, and I know that Angela's very passionate, and I know that other board members are very passionate, and we're not here to quash their passion. She's a very important part of the town politics, whether you agree with her or not. Mm-hmm. And I think residents need to be listened to regardless of what their mood is at that moment. And I think it could have been, I feel like I owe an apology because I think that I should have appealed Chris's decision during the meeting to not let her speak. And I think that that would have alleviated everything. And so I think I'm very hesitant to raise objections to things because you don't quite know sometimes how it's going to go, and sometimes keeping the peace is easier. So I feel that I need to get better at that, because I think that would have helped. I don't think there's three different sides to every story. We don't know why she came rushing in. I interpret it as she wanted to get in before the meeting ended, and Carlos' interpretation is completely different than mine. And so I think, and hers is probably different than that. And so I think it's really important that people have an opportunity to say what they have to say, regardless of how loud or painful it may be, and be better leaders about it. And that's all I'm gonna say.
Excuse me, before you go on any further, can you guys turn on the mic so we can hear you?
Oh, mine
They
is
are
on.
These
Everyone's
wasn't
got
ours,
one?
so you're on. Sorry.
Maybe it's just me.
Hello.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
No worries. Thank you, Melissa, and thank you, Karen. I agree with the majority of everything that you had just said. That the limitation ends with us, though. For this side of the table, it's a different story. Matt and Jane don't deserve any scenario, either from us, anybody. Like, they have to feel comfortable and safe where they work. I mean, it is what it is in that aspect. I did write something down myself, which is very rare. I just go off for 10, 15 minutes and, trail, but I think my comments have to be narrowly tailored in this instance. But Article 19 of the Massachusetts Declaration of Rights provides robust protection for free speech, including the right to offer fierce criticism of government officials. That's happened more times than I can count in this room, specifically to me as well as others, and nothing like this has ever happened. However, this right is expressly conditioned on the public's conduct remaining peaceable and orderly. Peaceable and orderly does not include abruptly leaving a Zoom meeting at 10 p.m., rushing to town hall, and then confronting, berating, and yelling at volunteers and staff members. Peaceable and orderly does not mean follow an individual out of the building to their vehicle, prompting staff to call police for assistance. Peaceable and orderly does not mean continuing such behavior long after the targeted person had left, to the point that arriving officers felt compelled to request backup. These protections for speech are vital, but they do not extend to intimidation, harassment, or conduct that creates fear or disorder. True free expression thrives in the atmosphere of civility, not coercion. This kind of behavior has no place in our community, and we can and must do better. Beyond that, I mean, I agree with part of everything that's been said from everybody up here. Between you, Karen, Carlo, maybe not so much, but Melissa, absolutely. Like, incidents like this can't come the norm here. It just can't. There has to be a way to voice your dissatisfaction, and that's sort of kind of worked here in Reading more than really anywhere else that I've known quite well for the last couple of years. And I just think that, we can always do better, not just, like, myself included, obviously. I always say this, like, I don't exclude myself from scenarios like this. Like, obviously there's some things that I could do better, but we're all human, and it is what it is. At the end of the day, we all want to go home and, just leave it at that. And I will leave it at that.
Thank you. I see Karen's hand raised online.
Thank you. You know what? Before we leave this topic, I think we need to be fair for the folks that weren't in the room when this happened. There was more than one person yelling. There were select board members yelling. They were yelling on the front steps of Town Hall. They were yelling in the hallway of Town Hall. They were yelling in the select board room. If we're going to take responsibility for that action, then we're going to be able to move on. Because what I don't want to hear are this being blamed on a single person. It takes two people to have an altercation. We all learned what the word altercation means. It means, a disagreement. And I'd also just like to correct the story that there was backup called for RPD, because I was here the entire time, long after you left, Chris, and I can just assure you that, and I take that back. A second car did come. I guess that, somebody who didn't make it, so I guess if you want to call that backup. But the way you sort of said it, it made it seem like things were escalating. And I want to be clear to the public that there were no way, shape, or form things were escalating. If RPD chose to send out 2 cars, I do believe it was a senior officer who came to accompany maybe the less experienced officers, who, by the way, it was a pleasure to watch them handle the situation. In my personal business, I have to deal with strong feelings and emotional people on a regular basis. And from a purely educational perspective, I have to say I've really admired the training that our officers have, because the proper way to diffuse a situation is not to yell back. There are other alternatives: recognizing the concern, recognizing the passion, acknowledging the person. So that's just something that I too have to work on every day. And in the moment, things can seem a lot more heated than they need to be. But in no way, shape, or form was anybody ever in danger. And I just want to make sure we characterize this as what it was: a heated discussion in Town Hall and later on the front steps of Town Hall. Thank you.
Chris?
Thanks, Melissa. There is an audio recording of the incident, Karen, with the police calling for backup. And as I explained during the tail end of my comment here, I did not absolve myself from anything that was said. I'm not saying that I was not partially part of the scenario. But partially part doesn't mean leave your house at 10 o'clock at night, come down here and confront us. That is a different story. So I understand everybody can lose their cool, and I can tell somebody to pull papers 20 times if they're so passionate and they think they can do a better job than me. But there is a clear and distinct difference when I'm at McDonald's having a 10-piece chicken nugget meal and the police end up getting called back to Town Hall. That happened. That is a fact, and you cannot change that.
Any other comments?
No.
I am going to open it up for public comment.
Can I add something, Melissa?
Oh,
Can
I
add something?
apologize. Yep, Carla, go ahead.
Thank you. And I don't know if anyone mentioned this. I don't think anyone did. We were being recorded when this altercation / incident happened. And Ms. Gregory probably has some video that will probably never get released. So since the feed was cut, because our meeting did adjourn and there is some video, but there's no audio, she was in the corner filming us, and probably illegally, because Chris pointed it out. So if anybody's interested in seeing the video of what actually happened, contact the Reading Observer, because they have it. And I welcome that to make this more explainable and what actually happened. As Chris said, this person had every intention to speak during our open meeting, because the first question she asked, is the meeting over? And then the yelling started. And when I realized it wasn't about me, I slowly backed away and walked out with Bob Beckman and wasn't there for the altercation at all. I know there was a lot going on. I know emotions were high, but this has all been captured on video and audio. So I welcome that anytime. Thank you.
Can I just say something? Sure. We don't know that she came in with that intention. I mean, she was very passionate about the topic that we've been discussing. She contacted a lot of people about the topic. And I think that because she wasn't getting an opportunity to speak during public comment, I can understand why she thought she could get down here and be here before the meeting ended. Like, I interpret her coming in saying, is the meeting over? Because that would have been a final opportunity for her to have her words. So you and I see it completely differently, which is another instance of there's many, many different sides to it. That's what I'm going to say.
I am going to open it up to public comment. 2 minutes. Who's timing? And I am going to interrupt everyone right at 2 minutes and ask you to stop. And I'm asking everyone to keep it cordial. That's all. You can have your opinion, just keep it cordial, please. Just one more thing, Vanessa. The one thing I will say that one of the things that Karen said that I disagree with, and that I was actually really excited about when Chris implemented this extra piece of public comment after agenda items, I think it's really important for residents to be able to give feedback to the select board in time. And I really don't want that to have to go away. But if the behavior doesn't stop, I don't see how we can't just keep it to public comment in the beginning. So I'm really hoping that the chair doesn't have to pull that away from because it's punishing the rest of the residents when people should be able to give input when we're discussing a topic. And I think it's a good piece to keep. So, you know, the select board and residents have more communication versus just having comments in the beginning. Go ahead, Vanessa, sorry.
Point of order, Madam Chair. I need to say that we cannot ask the public to be cordial, that we need to strike that. I appreciate the sentiment, and I'm hoping it will happen.
I'm not striking what I said.
The state Supreme Court has determined that we
Karen, I'm
cannot.
the chair. I'm going to ask you to stop, and we're going to public comment. Thank you. Go ahead, Vanessa.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Vanessa Rado, Mount Vernon Street. I'll start by saying Mass state law, just so you know, has indicated that you cannot control what people say. So asking people to be cordial, which I fully intend to be, but just can get the town into some issues. So I am deeply disappointed in the narrative that has been put forward. And for those of you who are watching at home, who may not be aware, who may not watch the meetings, there are 2 members of the select board and now a 3rd who have a very long and controversial relationship with the resident who has been discussed tonight, who's also not here to defend herself. I wasn't here. I don't know the exact details of the altercation, but I think it is so deeply disturbing to me that you are using your platform as elected officials to berate, harass, disparage, insult. Mr. Bocci himself has sworn at this resident, has used profanity, has used vulgar language to describe her. Mr. Haley has taken to social media to also talk about the Reading Observer, which is a direct competitor to his blog, when they chose to cover this incident. So the narrative that you are putting forward here is attacking a private resident who, by the way, is also one of your constituents and who you do represent. Mr. Haley, you had an opportunity to let this resident speak. You chose not to. You've acknowledged that. But I also wonder if this had been one of your supporters and not someone who repeatedly criticized you and your policy decisions, if you would have let them speak even after the topic had closed. And I believe the answer would be yes, you would let a supporter speak. But you chose not to allow Ms. Binda to speak. You chose to oppress a resident's opportunity to speak, which Ms. Murphy has just stated is such an important aspect of this role that you take. So for those of you watching at home, please look a little bit deeper into what is happening here, because the narrative is inaccurate and insulting.
Is there any other public comment here in the room? Go ahead, Nancy.
Nancy, Dr. Pearl Street, and Precinct 1 meeting member. I move to request again that this board adopts Robert Rules of Order and put that in your handbook and follow it.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Is there anyone online, Jackie?
I see nobody.
Nobody's hands are raised.
Maddie, I'm sorry, Maddie, I apologize.
That's okay.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to move on to the town manager report.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair. First, I wanted to start by wishing everybody a happy new year. We have a lot on our plates this year, and we look forward to digging in. A reminder that the annual MLK day celebration is Monday, January 19th at the High School Performing Arts Center. It begins at 9:30 a.m. and ends at 11:30 a.m. The keynote address this year will be by Dr. Robert Bellinger. This is always a great morning and a fitting tribute to MLK, so I hope the community can attend once again this year. Are you timing me?
Yeah.
Okay. And I just wanted to go over, we had a few new employees and some promotions over the last month, and I just want to recognize those people. So if you see some new faces around or some old faces with different titles, everybody is used to that. So at the Reading Public Library, our Library Public Services Division Head is now Olivia McElwain. That was a promotion. She was a longstanding employee there. We hired a new civil engineer. It started in December, Meg Anderson, to complement Ryan's department. We have a new health inspector as well, Zerahan Ayel. He started in December and hit the ground running. A lot of great experience from out of town. Jamie Yulee, who's a working foreman was just promoted to working foreman at the DPW, is a longstanding employee. I think people might know Carrie Valley over at the Pleasant Street Center. She is our interim Elder and Human Services Administrator, filling the vacancy from Chris Kowalski, who had just left. So that's a promotion for her. Also, Carrie Radine from the library. She's our librarian too in the Children's Services Division, recently promoted. And coming in January, later this month, we have two new employees starting. One is Brandon Vignault. He's going to be our new building commissioner. He starts next week, has some good experience from another town. And also Atane O'Day, who's going to be our new assistant town clerk. She's not new to Reading. She currently works in the school department, but she's going to be new to us in town government, and I think a good fit. And I think it's important to note that none of these are new positions. They were hired or promoted to fill existing vacancies, important positions. And when we do that, we generally bring people in at a lower step. So there's a cost savings to filling these positions and having these people work and work their way up the ladder as others have in the past. So just wanted to mention that when we see a few new faces around this month. So thank you. I can go into Community Spotlight unless there's any.
Please, that'd be great.
Great.
Unless no one has any questions. Yep, please, thank you.
Okay, so a couple things from Community Spotlight this month. I recently got a message from the fire department with a recommendation for Community Spotlight. And what stands out about this is they were not recommending an employee of the fire department. They were recommending 4 employees from a different department. And that stood out to me, and I think for good reason. So I wanted to recognize the critical work of our DPW mechanics, particularly Mike Montone, Justin Barrett, Bob DeMarco, and Eric Bedard, who keep our emergency fleet up and running. And those were the people that were recommended from the fire department to get a little spotlight tonight. Our fire apparatus and ambulances are pushed to the limits daily, and mechanical failures often happen after hours, on weekends. These mechanics are always willing to work late, come in weekends to fix the trucks, to fix the ambulances that are crucial to public safety, and ensure that we can respond to emergencies without delay. So they fill a very important role. They're very dependable. We rarely have to go outside to have a mechanic work on something. We have talented mechanics right in-house. The team keeps our fleet in prime condition. Their commitment to the safety of our residents is truly commendable, and we are grateful for their experience and their service. So that's a little employee spotlight. And also I wanted to mention, I think a lot of people know this because it's been all over the news, the Last Corner celebrated 50 years in business today. We just found out about this recently, and the board will mark the occasion fully at a future meeting, probably at the end of the month. But I wanted to say a heartfelt congratulations to Paul and Val. I heard that they were in their 20s when they started their business here, and it's still going strong 50 years later. That's quite an accomplishment, and we hope for 50 years more, because they do make some great breakfasts there and some great roast beef sandwiches. So congratulations to the Last Corner.
Thank you. Karen, I apologize. I see your hands up now. I think I missed it before.
Yep, it's okay. We're moving quickly. Matt, going back to your town manager report, I was just wondering if, I know you've been working with DLS to schedule the requested fiscal policy education. Did you want to have an update for the board tonight?
Yes, that has been scheduled. I believe it's the 29th of January.
I believe so.
It should be on my calendar.
Check it right.
But what it is that when we met with DLS, they thought that they would just not come to Reading, but actually invite other people, and they were wondering if Reading would be able to host. So we said, yes, we're hosting at the library, so there'll be folks from other towns as well. But that's going to be, I think, almost a full day down at the library where they'll go over financial policies. I think I had sent an invite to the...
9 to 1.
Yep, from 9 to 1 on, so I had the date right in my head. An invite to the finance committee, the school committee, and the select board, and other officials that want to come and work on those policies. I think there'll be some town employees there as well. So that's the update on that feature.
Quick, just, is it the 22nd? I think MMA conference is the 29th.
No, the MMA conference is before that.
Oh, so maybe I have those 2 dates
Yeah,
reversed.
sorry. Yeah,
Okay.
that's
Okay, nope, my fault. Thank you.
It comes sort of on the heels of the MMA conference, and
Yeah,
we knew
okay.
that, and they still thought that was a good time to host it. And when we met with them, they said it was funny that a few other towns were asking for the same thing, and they were happy that we actually stepped up and agreed to host. So we'll have some people from other towns as well.
All right, looking forward to it. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, and that's the community spotlight.
We are going to move on to vote to remove Associate Member Tony Lionetta from the Council on Aging as voted by the Council on Aging at their meeting on December 8th. I think we have something here in the packet. Matt, did you want to?
Yeah, I could kick it off. So this comes from the Council on Aging. Apparently this gentleman is not interested in serving any longer. He hasn't attended a meeting in some time and unable to attend a meeting. I'm not sure why exactly he wouldn't just file a resignation, but he hasn't. So the request comes from Council on Aging. We have Karen Janowski here, who's the chair, who's made that request as well, just to free up the spot so we can get somebody a little more active on there. So I think it's fair to do this. We don't remove people often, but in this case, it sounds like that's what he wants, and that's what the Council on Aging wants. So I figured we would bring it to the board.
Okay, sounds good. Does anyone have any questions on that? Chris?
Did you want to check with Karen, or are we?
No,
Karen, well, she gave our
Oh, well.
an email. Do you have anything else to add that you'd like to add? Okay. Karen and Carlo, do you have anything that you'd like to add?
no, I'm good, thank you.
Okay, so do we have a motion? And then we'll do a roll call. Oh, yes. Would anyone like to say public comment on this topic? Already going to get ourselves.
Nobody else.
No, perfect. Okay. Now do we have a motion?
We do. Move to remove Tony Leonetta as an associate member of the Council on Aging, as voted by the Council on Aging at their meeting on December 8th, 2025, pursuant to Section 8.12.1 of the Home Rule Charter.
Second.
Thank you, Karen. Seconded by Karen. We have to do a roll call vote. So Karen?
Yes.
Carlo?
Yes.
Karen? Yes. Chris?
Yes.
And I'm yes. Okay.
And the vacancy is what, 14 days you have to advertise? Is that the deal for this?
I believe
Okay.
so.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
14
believe it's
days.
14. And
And
when we come up to the next agenda or an agenda item later tonight about the commission, I'm hoping that maybe we can get Dask on for like late January or something to get all those, because there's some random spots that need to be filled, as well as Commission on Disability and then Council on Aging, which I know they have a lot on their plate right now. We will move on to discuss and vote to, nope, we are not doing that one. I apologize. We are going to public hearing. Do we have a motion to open the public hearing?
Should we just real quick just take a vote on to move the discuss and vote scenario, because it was on the agenda.
If you think that's appropriate, should we, so
Let's table it to the next meeting.
Matt had asked that we move, discuss and vote to endorse and sign the parkland acquisition and renovation for communities project agreement to another meeting, so we can just take a vote that will move that to a future agenda item.
yeah, that would be fine. We have to do it at some point before town meeting. It all depends. We're waiting for some plans, and when those are ready, we'll bring them back. It'll be a cleaner vote for the select board once those are ready. So after consulting with Andrew and Ivrea, they thought it best to put it off to a future meeting.
Okay.
Motion?
Yeah, just to move it.
Move to table this agenda item to the next meeting.
Move to table the park agenda item to the next meeting.
Second.
Seconded by Chris. Roll call vote, Karen?
Yes.
Carlo?
Yes.
Karen? Yes. Chris?
Yes.
Melissa, yes. 5-0. Now we will move to our public hearing. We have a motion to open that, I believe.
I'm supposed to read the hearing notice first.
Oh, yeah.
Notice.
To the inhabitants of the town of Reading, please take notice that the Select Board of the town of Reading will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, January 6, 2026, at 7 p.m. in the Select Board meeting room at Town Hall, 16 Lowell Street, Reading, Mass., or also available remotely on Zoom to act on a new license application for an annual all-alcohol package store license located at 36 Walkersbrook Drive, Reading, Mass. For PLM Beverage, LLC, DBA Dion's Fine Wine and Spirits. A copy of the proposed documents regarding this topic will be in the Select Board packet on the website at www.readingma.gov. All interested parties are invited to attend the hearing in person or remotely via Zoom, or may submit their comments in writing or by email prior to 6 p.m. on January 6, 2026 to townmanager@readingma.gov by order of Matthew A. Cornelis, Esquire, Town Manager.
Okay, so we have the applicant and the applicant's attorney here to answer any questions. This is a new liquor store going down to the Walkersbrook Plaza. It's a longstanding business that has, I think, locations in 5 other towns. So we welcome them to Reading. The application looks in order. It's been reviewed, but any questions, please feel free to address the applicant.
Does anyone on the board have any questions?
Did they just have anything to present, or? Yeah, might as well.
Just real quickly, my name is Tom Miller from Durban, Quilty, Miller and Hanley in Boston. I'm here on behalf of Dion Fine Wine and Spirits. I'm joined by Joe Dion. He is the owner and proposed manager of record. He is excited about being here, and as such, if the board would like, he can introduce himself and tell you a little bit about Dion and himself and the store.
Sure. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Chairman, members of the board, my name is Joe Dion. I'm 4th generation liquor retailer. We focus on, I'm sorry, I don't know my voice. I don't normally like that. We focus on wine, giving good prices for the community. And I'm 4th generation. I'm accompanied with my father here. He's 3rd generation. My great-grandfather started in 1933. We look for towns with great communities, and I think Reading fits that. And we're really excited to come to the town and go through the whole process if you guys will have us. The location is really nice, and I think it'll be a great fit for us, and I hope we can do everything right by the community. It's a privilege, not a right, to have a store, so we've really strict on IDs, and it's what we do every day, and we make sure that we can convey alcohol and sell it to the community in a proper manner. And thank you. I'm sure Tom will fill me.
Thank you.
I'm happy to go over everything about this application, but in consideration of the board's time, I'm happy to address any questions you have and move forward from there.
Great. I'll open it up to the board to any questions. Chris?
Thanks, Melissa. And thank you both for coming here. So just for clarification, this is the former Staples location.
This is.
You're only taking a portion of the building.
A portion of that space, not even the full former Staples space, but that is the storefront.
Okay. So just a portion of it.
Yes, the space is approximately 6,000 square feet. It's all on one floor. It'll include the retail space, sales space, coolers, and something that Joe and Peter before him have promoted, which is a wine tasting room for education of their customers, so that they can expand their knowledge of what is available to them out there.
So your space is 6,000, and the remaining spaces, do you know what that is? How big?
Not off the top of my head, no.
Way more than 6,000?
I'm sorry.
Sorry, excuse me. I believe it's around, the whole spot was, I want to say 26, so there's 20 extra thousand feet where the Staples was.
Perfect. For me, I wish you both, well, not you both, but yes, generations that are here that showed up to the meeting. No, as long as you do things, the board here takes alcohol sales very seriously. A former member, Mark Doxer, always hammered that home to everybody, that, just please make sure to not see us again, other than annual renewals, and everything will be good. But welcome to Reading. Do you know when you'll plan to open 6 months, a little earlier?
Yeah, hopefully by the summer.
Okay,
So, yeah.
perfect. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Karen, I see your hand raised.
Thank you. To the applicants, thank you very much for investing and in Reading and bringing your business to Reading. We certainly welcome you with open arms, providing, we don't ever hear there are alcohol violations, and we wish you the best of success. And just a technical question for Matt. I'm trying to remember, under statute, do we now have unlimited all alcohol and liquor licenses, or where are we on that?
I don't think it's unlimited. We have something that would be available at the old Pamplemousse, but that would have to be at that location. Our population, from what I understand, grew, and it enabled us to have this extra one that we have tonight. But after that, I don't know, in this type of license, I don't think we have many more unless our population grows again. There's all sorts of different categories. We can send you the information, but yeah.
Okay, no, that's an interesting point. I was actually thinking that we lost Pamplemousse, and this would be bringing us back up to sort of the total of these all alcohol types of licenses. Now, I'm interested in your comment about why there could be one at Pamplemousse. Is that still outstanding, or?
Well, because of the way Pamplemousse was zoned in, I think, the 40R district, and I think Kevin's here tonight and may be able to talk a little better than me. My understanding is that that license has to remain at that premises, so it's available, and I think there is a bakery or something going in there. I don't think they immediately plan to sell alcohol, but it could be an option in the future. Is that correct, Kevin? I just wanted to clarify. Kevin is our economic development planner, and he knows a little bit more about the day-to-day on the ground down there. But
evening, board. Yeah, Karen, it's that license was a special license that was, my understanding, was awarded essentially by an act of the State House, and it's tied to 26 Haven Street. It would take another visit back to Beacon Hill to change that. Or to get an award. So we have one liquor license, one package store license for every 5,000 residents. So if this license is awarded tonight, all 5 will have been taken because we have 25,500 odd residents in Reading. Does that answer your question? I'm happy also to walk through the finer detail of it as I understand it within any time.
No, thank you. I've lived in town a long time, and it's hard to remember all these little quirky things. I had no idea there was a special alcohol license tied to 26 Haven, and not sure that it's not as flexible as some of these other licenses. That's why I was just curious. So thank you both.
Yeah.
Carlo, did you have anything to add?
No, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for coming, because we're always impressed when the applicants show up, and to have 2 generations there. Liquor industry is a tough business. I'm a business broker, so I know what you guys go through. And is this the 4th or 5th location for you guys?
Excuse me. Between my sisters and myself, this will be 6.
All right. Well, good luck, and welcome to Reading. And that's a great location, so I hope you guys knock it out of the park. Thanks.
Karen, did you have anything to add?
Just welcome to the community, and we look forward to having you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I wish you guys the best of luck. I'm really happy to have you here. So I just have to open it up to public comment if anyone in the room.
Close the hearing first.
Oh, I'm closing the hearing first. I apologize.
Move to close the public hearing regarding the annual all alcohol package store liquor license for PLM Beverage LLC, DBA Dion's Fine Wine and Spirits.
Second.
And roll call vote. Karen?
Yes.
Carlo?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Also yes, 5-0. We're closing the hearing. And now I will welcome public comment for anyone here in the room. Is there anyone online with their hand raised?
Nobody online.
And now do we have a motion?
Move to approve the annual all alcohol package store liquor license for PLM Beverage LLC, DBA Dion's Fine Wine and Spirits, located at 36 Walker's Brook Drive.
Second.
seconded by Chris. Roll call vote. Karen,
Yes.
Carlo,
Yes.
Karen,
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Also yes, 5-0. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much, guys.
Yeah, thank you. We're looking forward to it.
Best of luck.
Thank you. Good luck.
Have a good one. Bye.
You're
Thank you.
always welcome.
Best of luck. Yes, absolutely.
Thank you. Oh, yeah, yep, thank you. Thanks, guys.
Okay, we are going to move on to 8:05. Vote on submittal of senior citizen property tax exemption home rule petition, Article 2 of the special town meeting, November 10, 2025, to the legislation.
So this is, if you recall, this was voted on at the last town meeting. Similar to the charter amendments, it then has to go to the legislature for approval. The vehicle is called a home rule petition. So what you're essentially doing is voting to send this to the legislature to act upon, and eventually the governor to sign. This is something, like I said at town meeting, we've done for many years. We don't anticipate any problems, but once you vote on it, I intend to talk to our state reps and senators to make sure it goes smoothly through the legislative process. So.
Great. Any board members have any questions? I can't see, Carlo, if you have your hand raised, the way the screen is here.
I don't see it.
Okay. My only quick question is this, do we do this yearly or every couple of years? Or?
No, I thought, in talking to Victor, I was surprised that it had to be renewed, but it expires, I think, it said it in the home rule, every like 2 or 3 years it has to be renewed. And I think that was at the suggestion of the legislature to do it that way. And there's always hope that this passes on a statewide basis at some point and wouldn't have to be renewed and it would be statewide, but that hasn't happened yet. So when it comes up again, we'll bring it back to town meeting, go through the same process.
Got it. Okay. Does any public comment on this agenda item? Is there anyone online?
No one online.
Thank you, Maddie. Do we have a motion?
Move to authorize the town manager to submit a senior citizen property tax exemption home rule petition to the legislature as presented in Article 2 of the November 10th, 2025 special town meeting.
Second.
Seconded by Karen Hurd. Roll call vote. Karen?
Yes.
Carlo?
Yes.
Karen? Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Melissa, yes. 5-0 vote. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
And now we're moving on to discuss and vote on charge for the Commission on Disabilities. In the packet, I believe there was a draft charge that Albert did. Thank you, Albert. Does anyone, Albert, did you want to add anything to what was in the packet? It was the draft that you sent us. Okay. Okay, that's great. Does anyone have any input, and have you been able to review this draft charge for this commission? Karen, if you have your hand raised, I can't see you. I apologize.
She doesn't.
Okay. Does anyone else have any input?
I don't have any comments.
I guess my only thing, thank you, Melissa, is maybe the 5-member making it 7 as a possibility. I think that's the only kind of structure that I thought might be a little bit needed. Other than that, I agree with Albert's assessment.
Same. I actually agreed the same. I would just say, can we do 7? I had looked around and it looked like most commissions had. Some had a minimum of 6, which seems odd to have an even number. Yeah, but I agree. When I looked at this, that was the only thing that jumped out to me. If you'd be amenable to changing it to 7, I think I'd be good with that.
We just err on the lower side. That's just a recommendation.
That was a moment to speak. I apologize. What?
Yes. Nobody can hear him back there.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, Al.
Come up to the podium. I apologize.
It's the whole Zoom thing, you know.
Zoom thing, right?
Yeah. And you actually have to make sure that green light's on.
It is. Okay. Yeah, the number 7 is fine. Yeah.
Right. Awesome. Anyone else have any input?
Karen has her hand raised.
Karen.
Thank you. So I am concerned with being able to fill these boards. May I suggest that if you want to make it 7, we make the additional 2 associate members, and that way we have an easier time getting quorum. And at the same time, because of our policies, when one of those 5 can't make it, we can temporarily elevate an associate, and that seems to be working well in our other commissions. And my only other comment was, being appointed by the select board, would we put it through the VASC process?
I asked that question and the answer is yes.
Yeah, I intend, I mean, it's a cooperative effort between town manager and select board, but I think our process is the VASC process, so I think it would make sense to put it through VASC.
Yep, that's fine. Thank you.
Laura,
Laura, sorry. I feel like my head's on a swivel tonight.
I just wanted to point out that the general bylaw has a stipulation in there for associate members. So if you have 5 members, you're automatically going to have 3 associates.
Got it.
So I don't know if you want to, going back with what Karen said, I don't know if you want to go with 7 and
just do 2 associates.
So you could, if you have 7, you'll end up with 4 associates.
That's interesting.
It's part of the general bylaw.
But wouldn't that just make 3 full-time members and associates don't vote?
The general, that's correct.
Yeah.
So if you have 5 members, you're going to have 3 associates automatically.
Okay. No, that wouldn't.
No,
it must be
that's
reversed.
not
3
full-time,
additional
maybe.
members, you mean, right?
If you set up the commission to be a 5-member board, then the general bylaw will require that it will automatically add on 3 associate members.
To the 5.
To the 5.
Okay,
So
I
now it's
misunderstood.
Now it's 8.
Sorry.
Okay, I
I
misunderstood.
just wanted to make sure you understood that.
I did not understand that. Okay. So then I'm fine with keeping it at 5 with the additional 3 associate members. Yes, that makes sense. I didn't realize that that would automatically be added on because associates are non-voting, but then can step in if they need to meet quorum.
Correct.
Is that okay with you, Karen?
Yep, thank you, Laura.
Do we need to spell that out in the charge? Or is it because it's whatever?
I think it's by operation of the bylaw, but.
Okay.
So it's fine, should be fine.
All right. Does board members any more questions on this?
I have a quick question.
Go ahead, Carlo.
This is just looking down the road on the commission structure. It says a majority of the members will be individuals with disabilities or family members / caregivers. Totally agree with that, but as Karen Herrick said, sometimes we have trouble getting people to fill these positions. So what happens to this board if item number 3 can't be fulfilled?
I guess my clarification on that, it's a majority of members will be individuals with disabilities or family caregivers. That's twofold. A, we can't ask anybody a disability or if they're a caregiver, so that goes out the window regardless. But what constitutes the majority in this case? A majority of members, so that would be 5.
Right, yeah, good point.
So that would be 3, even though we have the associate thing that we just tacked on the other 3. So it still would be 3. So we're looking at 3. But we can't ask anybody any of those questions unless they offer it.
Right.
Yeah, and just to point out, and correct me if I'm wrong, Albert, that piece of it is from the state law, right? That's,
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's pulled right from the state.
Yeah, that's pulled right from the state law. So that's wording, I believe, that would have to stay in the charge.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Does that suffice, Carlo?
Yeah, I have no problems with this. I just want to make sure we cover our bases, that's all.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else have any input, questions? Any members of the public have any comment on this? Anyone on the line?
No one online.
Thank you. All right, do we have a motion?
Move to accept the charge and establish a commission on disabilities as discussed.
Second.
Seconded by Chris Haley. Roll call vote. Karen?
Yes.
Carlo?
Yes.
Karen? Yes. Chris?
Yes.
Melissa, yes. 5-0. Thank you very much. Thank you, Albert, for your work on this.
Thank you, Albert.
Thank you, Albert.
Thanks, Albert.
Liaison reports.
Oh, jeez.
We are ahead of schedule. This is amazing. Yeah, I might have jinxed it. Okay, hold on. Liaison reports. Who would like to start? Anyone?
You're always looking at me.
Because you're the one with the longest report.
I'll talk quickly.
Okay.
On 12/6, I attended the Friends of Reading Metco brunch at the library. It was awesome. Met with Albert and a whole bunch of great people. We're really lucky to have such a wonderful group of people. It was packed. It was great. They then went to the Festival of Trees after the brunch. On December 8th, the Town Forest Committee had a meeting. They plan to have monthly community buckthorn pulling events in the spring through the fall. Get ready. It's going to be a hell of a time. Those things are so much fun. I got to be honest with you.
Oh, it sounds like it.
They are. Sorry.
You seem way too happy.
I'm so excited. I don't like to weed my own yard, but I'll go to the town forest. So grab your friends and look for the schedule. 12/8 Council on Aging, Elder and Human Services and Trust reports were presented. They discussed the draft membership documents provided for recal. On December 10th, I attended a WeMo mentorship lunch meeting. The topic was navigating the perfect fiscal storm. It was a great discussion. There were many towns there that were part of it, and I got out of it that we're truly blessed to have such a great staff who's always on top of things and thinking outside of the box, because I think we're all in the same position, but our staff is really on top of it. On December 10th, attended an Eastern Gateway meeting where they went over the results of the forum held at the library, discussed the outcomes of the small group discussions that they had, and how the residents mostly seemed to be in line with what the steering committee had been discussing all this time, but there were some great suggestions from the residents. On December 14th, attended the menorah lighting event, which was really lovely. Music by Reading community singers, great food. 12:15, there was a programming space policy presentation by REC to the Council on Aging. I watched it online, and I've had some meetings with some people from Council on Aging on it, and there was a lot of information given. A lot of good feedback between REC and Council on Aging. December 17th, the Mass DOT Live virtual design public hearing for the Oakland Road project. It was very informative. There was lots of diagrams and figures presented on the proposed plan for the area. There was a lot of good questions from residents in the area. December 17th, there was an ACE meeting finalizing plans for the introduction of the Game Changer series, which is in the paper the other day, and plans for MLK. I could not attend the Housing Authority meeting last night. Reading Food Pantry would like to send a huge thank you to everyone who supported them over the holidays, November and December. It was truly an outpouring in so many different ways, between food, money, businesses running raffles and fundraisers, new volunteers, etc. They're currently waiting for a sign-off from the town health department on the kitchen so they can start cooking prepared meals and baking goods, etc. And I will be adding office hours later in the month.
Awesome. Thank you.
There you go.
Karen? Park?
Sure. Thank you. Thank you, Karen. I've forgotten some of those things. So yes, the Eastern Gateway meeting was terrific. Great attendance, great activity. I thought the consultants did a nice job of organizing us, and pretty excited about our opportunities in that area of town. And thank you, Karen, for being the select board liaison to that project and keeping it going. There's a lot of potential there. Menorah lighting was fabulous. I think this was our third menorah lighting, and just it's always a pleasure. Matt, thank you for attending, and Albert was there as well, and other select board members. Yes, and also attended with most of the select board members the joint Council on Aging REC meeting to discuss a recal update. So we were not posted, so we did a good job of listening. And the project is definitely moving along. Tomorrow night, tomorrow night, I hope to attend the Permanent Building Committee where, and we'll get an update from the building construction itself. Also attended the Oakland Road safety presentation, and so this was interesting. So the folks from the state came in to let the community know what was going on with this, which is in stark contrast to learning about it at the last minute in terms of the turnback track. So it was nice to see a state agency proactively getting information out to the public. And this project, these state government works very slowly, but this was a grant that staff under Fidel worked very hard to get in response to a community meeting that we had. I believe it was in the summer of 2022. We were discussing what to do with that Oakland Road property. It's under the control of the select board. And at that time, the select board took away that people had major traffic and safety concerns. And having been a parent of a high school and middle school student, I could only agree. So I just want to make sure that we understand that we're lucky to get, I believe it's $500,000 for this project, for this narrowly defined project. The state doesn't give away money to everything, but this was in direct response. So this is our local government at work, and just a direct response to the neighbors in the area expressing their concerns about safety. So I appreciate all the work that staff did to get this, and it's amazing. It's 2026 and we're finally going to get it done. And there will be an additional community meeting so that I appreciate that the state is trying to keep us updated and keep us out of trouble and keep the neighbors abreast of these forthcoming safety improvements. Looking forward, I am very much looking forward to the MLK Day. A lot of work goes into that every year. I believe it is January 19th. It'll start at 9 a.m., maybe a little bit earlier with breakfast. And I'm sure we'll have terrific speakers. I've signed up to be a greeter. And so I look forward to seeing everyone there. I also have office hours planned for this week at the Pleasant Street Center. I believe it's Thursday, 12 to 1. And I look forward to hearing from constituents at that time at the Pleasant Street Center. So thank you.
Carlo, did you have anything?
Yeah, not much during the holidays, but I also attended in person the recreation COA meeting, and as Karen said, it was a listening session for board members, and it was very good to be there because I got a lot of insight to what the future plans are and how the space is going to be used. And there's a lot of back and forth between recreation and COA. So it was very informative. And then the holidays happened. So I have nothing else to report. Thank you.
Thank you. Chris?
Thanks, Melissa. I also attended the tree lighting. The weather was horrible, but you wouldn't know it. There was still a ton of people there. Unfortunately, the band and everything was canceled, but I mean, the front of Town Hall over here was packed. And then the same thing, the weather affected the menorah lighting. I attended that. That was indoors. They did a great job in there. The Reading Community Singers, probably one of the better performances that I've seen. And there's been quite a bit in Reading by them. So it's good to see them always volunteering and offering this to the community. And then the last thing is, obviously I attended Oakland Road and all that everyone else mentioned, and same thing with the recal. But I spoke with the chair of CPDC, Heather Klisch, regarding the master plan committee thing that keeps coming up. And unfortunately, we did not get awarded the grant for the master plan, and it's going to cost something like $175,000 or $200,000 or something like that. So Heather and I were both in somewhat agreement that it's probably best to hold off on doing that now and seeing if we can go towards the grant next time around. So Andrew's going to be working on it once again, but we both felt that this wasn't the right time. So that's where we're at.
Thank you. I didn't have a ton either. Earlier in the month, was working with RCTV, their board, and town staff, Matt and Jane, to finalize that new agreement. And I'm happy to say we got a 5-0 vote on that after 6 long months. And I did attend the Oakland Road meeting and also the Council on Aging Rec Committee meeting, and then, you know, kind of quieted down for the rest of the holiday season. But just one quick question, Chris. The grant for that build the master plan, is that a yearly thing that we can apply for? Okay.
Yep. Yeah, so it's going to come around again, and Andrew, I think, is going to be working on June or something like that, and because I mean it's fairly significant, and we didn't get it, so we have to come up with, you know, close to $200,000. It just goes up. So.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good plan. Okay, great. All right, we can move on to approve prior meeting minutes for December 9th and December 18th. Did Maddie, did you get any changes from anyone?
Yes, I got changes for the 12:18 minutes, but no changes for the 12:09 minutes. So would you just want me to pull up 12:18?
Let me just double check. Does anyone have any changes for 12:09?
No.
No.
Okay, we can just pull up the changes for 12:18 and then see if we can vote on them both together.
So I have 2 changes, this one, and there's a little one further down. I really appreciate, and I put it in my note when I sent these in, I really appreciate the format of both of these sets of minutes is in the proper summary form. And this item should not be in our meeting minutes. You normally include, we literally have public comment like 17 times a meeting now. And so we don't include this kind of stuff in there. So I think this needs to go. And that's the reason I X'd it, and everything else is fine. And the second one, this was the Burbank discussion. We talked about this for 25 minutes. I had substantial comments that I made. This is an excellent summary of what we discussed. We don't need one little comment from one select board member in here, and it's inappropriate and doesn't fit. So that's why I crossed it off.
Anyone else have any feedback? Chris?
Thanks, Melissa. I of course, respectfully disagree with changing both of those. I don't work on the minutes. I don't create them. I've never had any input in them. They are what they are. And the reason I did say that I strongly recommend allocating 50% of the funds. If your comment was in there, you should have added it. And the first one where it was struck out that I allowed a member of the public to speak because they wanted to leave, absolutely goes to the overall impact of the entire meeting, because I made an exception for somebody to be able to speak when I'm simultaneously being told that I don't allow people to speak. So the fact that it's in there goes to the overall theme of the meeting. And once again, I didn't ask to put it in there, but since it's in there, I want it kept in there.
It sure does seem like perhaps, and I guess I was mistaken because it seemed like you specifically requested it to go in there.
I have never, on my children, ever communicated to Maddie, Jackie, Caitlin, ever about the minutes. Ever. Not to Matt.
I mean, beyond the request for changes after they're published, which of course is fine.
Nobody. I have never curtailed the minutes, ever.
That's great. I still don't think this is appropriate. But you can see how it doesn't match the summary format, which is required for our meeting minutes.
Nothing's required. It's our minutes.
Right,
no, that's not accurate,
Chris. We're going to
Chris.
vote on December 9th meeting minutes, and then we'll go back to December 18th. So do we have a motion for December 9th minutes?
Move to approve the meeting minutes of December 9, 2025 as presented.
Second.
Seconded by Karen. Roll call vote. Carlo?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Melissa, yes. 5-0 on the December 9th minutes. Now we'll go back to the December 18th minutes and we can discuss. So Karen wants it out. Chris wants it in. Karen, Carlo, do you have any input on this?
I can go, I guess.
Go ahead, caller.
We haven't been, unfortunately, we haven't been consistent. This is a good format, but we as select board members individually get to amend the minutes. I appreciate Chris's comment that he didn't do these minutes, and we all know that. These minutes are not done by us. We're there to read them, make sure they're accurate, and then amend them as needed. So if they're written a certain way and us individually want them to remain because they give context or they make sense, then that's up to us individually. These are all short paragraphs. Some of these are just 1 or 2 sentences. So to me, it's up to Chris. It's not up to Karen. It's not up to me. It's not up to Melissa. It's up to Chris. So, and I'll leave it there. We've gone over this numerous times, and I rarely edit and change minutes myself. That's not because I don't read them. I don't approve of them. It's because I have faith in our staff to take good minutes. And yes, there's typos, and we have to make corrections, and things weren't spelled out correctly, and acronyms, but it's up to the individuals. So that's where I stand for this and for always. Thank you.
Thank you, Carlo. Do you have any input, Karen?
I have faith in the people taking the minutes. So I don't think it's disparaging if Chris didn't add it. I think that just having the minutes is fine. I understand what Karen's coming from, but if we don't have an input other than what we're doing now, I just assume leave it the way they are.
Yeah, I agree with Karen and Karen Rose Gillis and Carlo on this. I just think that we should leave them the way they are. We can vote on it, Karen, if you'd like, Karen Herrick, or are you going to stick with your changes?
So my concern is that the fastest way to make this correct, the slowest way would for me to be go back, rewatch the meeting, take the substantive comments that I made regarding this, and I wasn't the only one. Karen made substantive comments as well, and put them in here. The reason, especially the second one, the first one is inconsistent. Carlo agreed with me. It is not consistent, and we literally have public comment like every single item now. So it just makes the job of doing the minutes that much harder. But, you know, this is not to point the finger at our staff who's taking minutes, other than to say, you know, going forward, we shouldn't have individual, if you either have lots of input and substantive comments from all select board members, or you have none. Because this is not okay. This is slanted. This is not, I had requests for a capital plan. I had asked for the Burbank board financials, which I still haven't seen, and none of that are in these meetings. So again, it's not to, and we're recording these things, right? So, you know, it wouldn't be good for staff for picking and choosing like individual select board members. It's supposed to be summary. And in the times when when we might have individual comments or when we have a vote and it's not unanimous, it would be customary, following Robert's Rules of Orders, to note the dissenting parties and why they dissented from the decision. So, you know, I understood that we've been encouraged to follow Robert's rules with our policies and generally accepted meeting minutes policies. So I'm really disappointed that you all aren't okay with removing things that obviously don't fit with the plan.
Karen.
So I guess I do see now what Karen's talking about, because it does put it into perspective of why, if the bulleted line says discuss Burbank ICE in a memo of understanding, and then all of a sudden it goes into it, then it would just go to Nancy Doctor at Pearl Street. You know, it is out of order of what we're talking about. And then after that goes Town Council Ivrea. So in support of the Chris Haley allowed public comment, I do feel like it should go there. Do you know what I mean? Because it puts into context.
Because otherwise, Nancy spoke first. Otherwise, why is Nancy speaking first?
Right, that's what I mean. So now I understand exactly what Karen's talking about, as far as there was so much more detail and other things in there, but I don't think we want to get bogged down to have the minutes be 20 pages long.
Agree.
So I think in this particular instance, I would say to leave Chris's statement in there, because if you're just reading it, Nancy's the one starting the discussion, that's out of place. So
I agree.
Karen, I do hear what you're talking about, but for this particular paragraph, I think that we do need to keep that there.
Yeah, and I think that back to what Carlos said, we just haven't been consistent really ever since I've been on the board. So I just think we're just going to vote on the minutes as they are, and we can note that if Karen votes against how they are written, we can note that in the minutes for tonight's meeting. Chris, go ahead.
Yes, sorry, just real quick. Carlos said that it's up to Chris. The reason why it's up to me is because it's my comments that are being removed. It's not because I have any special privilege over anyone else here. If Karen wanted to add items in here that she said, she could have sent them. And 99% of the time, I would have said nothing.
That's not, you know what, let's just stop, just vote.
We're not going to
You're interrupting me and you like to cite Robert's rules.
I just can't listen to that.
Okay, we're not doing this. We're absolutely not doing this tonight. So we're going to take a motion to vote on the minutes of December 18th.
As presented or amended?
As presented. Yes, as presented.
Move to approve the meeting minutes of December 18th, 2025 as presented.
Second.
Seconded by Chris Haley. Roll call vote. Karen?
No.
Carlo?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Melissa, yes. 4-1. All right, we are moving into executive session to approve those minutes. Do we have Jeffrey?
Yes, she's joined and she would take it over from here. Jane and I have to excuse ourselves from the executive session.
Okay.
There's a motion to go into executive.
Good night. We'll take a 2-minute reset.
She has.
Oh.
Karen has a motion for that.
Oh, yeah. Let's do the motion for executive session. I apologize.
Move to enter into executive session under executive session purpose 7, GLC 30B, section 21A7, for purposes of approving and reviewing for release minutes of the board's December 2nd, 2025 executive session in compliance with GLC 30A, section 22, to invite town council into the executive session and to adjourn from the executive session and not return to open session.
Second.
Seconded by Chris Haley. Roll call vote. Karen?
Yes.
Carlo?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Melissa, 5-0.